paid well.
Yes, there's no question. Let's just start with a big piece of news today here in Denver that tight end Evan Engram is in Denver. He's with the Broncos right now as we speak. We have not been told that he has left the facility.
They're holding him hostage.
And that's kind of how this goes. What like paint a picture. What do you think is going on over there in Dove Valley right now with Evan
Zach,
Engram?
I got a great visual right here. I know exactly what's going on. Evan Engram steps foot off the plane, gets to the facility. They start to talk to him. Sean and George specifically start to talk to him. Maybe Bo's in the building. All right, hopefully Bo's in the building. I'm pretty sure Bo's in the building working hard. And he'll go through physicals. Evan Engram will talk about tight end. He'll go through physicals, and after physicals, they'll have him come back, meet with Sean. They'll go over some film. Sean and the tight ends coach will go over some film. Start to let Evan Engram envision himself in a Denver Broncos jersey catching balls. And that's why I asked the question I did earlier. How can you set this vision for somebody and show them film on the Denver Broncos when you didn't utilize your tight ends?
Right.
So Evan Engram's probably sitting there trying to figure things out. Like, are you guys going to use me? And I know that the tight ends were bad here, so it's like maybe you're going back and you're showing some Saints film of, hey, this is what it could look like for you if you sign with us.
Right.
While all that is going on, George, the general manager, is talking to his agent. By the way, his agent is my agent.
Is that right?
Yes. So, you know.
Mike McCartney. What's the name of the agency?
Right now, it used to be Priority Sports, and now it's Vane.
Okay.
So he moved.
Okay.
Yeah. And general manager George, agent, they start to talk, try to come up with some kind of agreement, some kind of deal. They do not want Evan Engram to leave that building. Because if Evan Engram leaves the building, I fear, we talked about it earlier, that he's probably not going to sign here.
Right.
That's why you kind of want to keep him hostage, come up with some way to pay him. You have the ownership to do it. You have the luxury because you have the cap space. We need that joker. We need that tight end that you can rely on to help Bo Nix out, Zach. Go ahead and pay Evan Engram the money that he wants.
Well, he's a two-time Pro Bowler. He was a Pro Bowler with the New York Giants. He was a Pro Bowler 2 years ago with the Jacksonville Jags. 114 receptions in the 2023 season. That's pretty extreme. And it was on 143 targets, by the way. So a great percentage of, like, if a ball came his way, more oftentimes than not, that dude was a reliable pass catcher. I think it was just 37 yards shy of a 1,000-yard season from the tight end position 2 years ago. This past year was banged up, less productive when he was available. 47 catches in 9 games for 365 yards. All right, you're looking at about 41 yards a game there, which is honestly, like, that would, even his down year, because he was averaging 57 yards a game in 2023. Even his down year, if he was available for the Broncos, it would still represent a massive, massive upgrade here in Denver.
Well, you're looking for speed. You're looking for an impact player that can come in and help Bo out. That's this guy for you. Evan Engram we're talking about. He's going to free up Courtland Sutton. He's going to free up Marvin Mims. Maybe Troy Franklin. I feel like, and we'll talk about it as time goes on, Troy Franklin's going to take that next big step. How do you take that next big step? Have more weapons around your team. Have more weapons for Bo Nix to pick from. And Evan Engram will do that for you. And on top of that, you can still draft a tight end to come in, go up under Evan Engram, grow. Let's just say Loveland gets drafted here in the first round.
Yeah, Colson Loveland from Michigan.
Loveland. And he's dealing with his shoulder injury. But shoulder injuries take time. Well, he's not rushing when you have Evan Engram in the building. And now you can take the time to get stronger. Now you can take the time to learn the playbook and get better. And when you're ready to play, now you have Evan Engram and Colston Loveland ready to go. Now you have a two-headed monster to go with Courtland Sutton, who I, by the way, think is going to get paid now because your poor baby is going back to Tampa Bay. We're talking about Chris Godwin.
Oh, God.
Look at you. So sad. So sad.
A single tear did roll down my face when I saw that news. He's going back to Tampa. It's I have it somewhere here in our notes. 3 for 66, I want to say. Yeah.
24 years.
Yeah, 3 years, $66 million, 22 a year, Mr. Denver
22.
South Math.
You wanted him for 24.
Yeah, I think his market value was 23, I want to say, if you spot rack. Which, by the way, I was quoting Spot Rack's market value for Aaron Jones, which way undersold what he actually got from Minnesota. And if the Broncos were in on Aaron Jones and we don't know that to be true, maybe we'll find out after the fact. Maybe by the end of the week we might hear a press conference from George or Sean. I hope so anyway. But Aaron Jones was number one on my free agent big board, and right out of the gate he resigns with
2 years, 20
2 for
mil.
20.
Yeah,
His market
13
value
guaranteed.
was 1 year contract for about $6 million. He gets $10 million per year over the next 2 years.
And all it takes is one team to value you, right? Someone say, you know what? We're going to take a shot on you, or we want you here. We're willing to give you a little bit more money so that you don't hit the market. Now, for Evan Engram, you have him in the building, Zach. Go ahead and pay this man so that we can have another weapon for Bo Nix and continue to move in the right direction.
That'd be great, man. If we're heading into the season and the tight end position is checked off, plus a young gun to come up underneath them in the way that you described, to go with maybe a running back from rounds 1 through 3.
Yeah, and still a free agent running back. I
Sure.
still believe that the
Yeah.
Broncos are
Yes.
going to pick up at least a free agent running back. I've been talking about Rico Dowdle, all right? Some people out there have been mentioning him now, but he's one to watch,
Yep.
Zach. He's one to watch. He's going to be cheaper. He's not going to be like Aaron Jones. He's going to be a little cheaper and can help us out, help the running back room out, help Bo out. And now if you can get the running back, you could get the tight end in the free agent market, and then you go back, you double dip in the draft. Now you have a really good team.
Yeah, at both tight end and running back, strategy's got to be the same. Address it in free agency to whatever degree that they seem fit or deem fit, and then go in the draft and double dip with both of those positions. I love it. We'll update you on Evan Engram's status when we hear it in real time. All right, DJ Jones, big nose tackle up front, re-signs with the Broncos on a 3-year, $39 million contract with 26 guaranteed.
Holla at me, big boy.
His initial deal was 3 for $30 million. He gets a pay raise here with the Broncos. They keep their own free agent. Honestly, this was more money. This is actually significantly more money than I thought that DJ Jones would end up signing for. So it was a bit of a surprise here.
It was a surprise to me too, Zach. But when you start to deal with the free agent market, you start to talk, listen, and know that, okay, you start to understand I may not get the guy that I want. You're going to have to come back to who you have and say maybe he's the best option for us. And we're talking about DJ Jones. But when you do something like that, DJ Jones, he's hearing this too. And he's like, you guys didn't want me. I wasn't your first option. If that was the case, we would have got something done a couple days ago. You didn't end up getting the guy you want. Now you want me back. Now I want more money.
Yeah. And was he I think he was tweeting the other night.
He tweeted yesterday.
About his value and all this stuff, and kind of like almost like warning, like, yeah, I'm not signing with the Broncos for less than I think that I'm worth type of deal.
He won.
Yeah.
He put a Miko on him.
Oh my gosh.
He put a Miko on him.
Dude. I can't wait to circle back to the Miko stuff. Because somehow we come in here on a Monday and there's new twists to that story.
There's always going to be something.
It's crazy. It's crazy. Well, we have to circle back to it.
But DJ Jones, he gets the bag. He stays with the Denver Broncos. I'm okay with it, Zach. He's a great locker room guy. He does his part. He's stout up front. He's not going to give you those 4, 5, 6, 7 sacks. That's not his weapon. His weapon is that big body, stop the run, muddy everything up in the middle, and let everybody else do their job. DJ Jones has done a great job with that, and we were top 5 with DJ Jones and Zach Allen.
Right.
So why not run it back if your defense was top 5? If it's not broke, don't fix it.
All right, so DJ Jones not going anywhere. And then you get the news that Jarrett Stidham is also not going anywhere. He is returning to the Broncos on a 2-year deal worth $12 million, 7 guaranteed. He actually got a raise. He initially signed a 2-year deal for $10 million, doesn't do much of anything, and somehow gets a raise.
Hey, backup quarterback life, man.
I mean, goodness, I'll say this. I'm not going to throw some fit about re-signing Jarrett Stidham. My thought process is that the better you get as a football team, the more important the backup quarterback position is.
For sure.
Which is why when we did the little, free agent wish list, I had a little curveball at number 5. I had Gardner Minshew because I think
go ahead, check that one off.
He'd be a top 3 backup in the NFL with
would.
like Tyrod Taylor, Gardner Minshew, and whoever would be the third one. we've seen Minshew play. Jarrett Stidham is making millions of dollars. I don't know what it's really based off of. It's
based off of Sean believing in him.
Yeah,
it's based off
basically.
of Sean saying, "Hey, you know the system. You've been in the system for 3 years now. Can you be willing to accept the backup role?" Which it seems like Jarrett Stidham obviously has, and that's why they signed him back. He's a good friend with Bo Nix, so there's chemistry there. So you want to be able to have that chemistry with a young rookie quarterback. Now he's not a rookie, but a young quarterback that's going to be out there playing. But also when you're not playing, you're sitting there on the sideline, you're talking, you're going through things, you can trust each other. Stidham seems to have a good relationship. Zach Wilson, Jarrett Stidham, and Bo Nix have this weird college relationship.
It is kind of college, isn't it?
And I believe Sean doesn't want to mess that up completely. Now, I've heard rumors out there that they're still trying to get Zach Wilson back as well.
Yeah, I heard that too.
I don't see that happening. If I'm Zach Wilson, this is your time. This is your turn to try to go to a team and pull a Sam Darnold. Go out there and say, I had the quarterback rehab. Give me that chance. I don't see Zach Wilson coming back to the Denver Broncos, and that's why they signed Jarrett Stidham.
And especially if you're Zach Wilson, follow the money. Stidham's the backup.
Yeah.
Stidham was the backup last year. You need to go to a place because there's not going to be any place that's going to have Zach Wilson start the season. But you need to go to a place where you're the backup and not the third string and maybe get an opportunity at some point in the season. But the money says that Stidham is going to be the definitive backup here. And then you also have, I'll mention this long snapper, Mitch Frabroni, signed a 3-year deal that pays about $1.5 million a year. It's actually the 8th highest paid long snapper. And then a couple things I saw were interesting over the weekend before we get to some of this other NFL news. I saw Nick Bonito retweeted Chargers Tony Jones, who said, I don't know why teams wait to pay their players. The price only gets steeper. And Nick Bonito tweeted that or retweeted that, which I thought
he wants his money.
He wants his money.
He's listening to us.
Gregory Rousseau in Buffalo got a 4-year, $80 million extension, over 50 guaranteed. He retweeted that piece of news as well. And then there was a separate tweet where John Franklin Myers was tweeted, "Don't forget about JFM," to a list of pass rushers that are also up for new deals. So, guys, it's heating up.
This is what happens, though, Zach. You're sitting there. You're on your last year of your contract. You start to see some of your boys get paid, some players that you're better than getting paid, and you're saying, what about me? It's all quiet over here, and everybody's getting paid all this money. This is my time, too. I had a great year. That's someone like Nick Bonito right now. It's like, why can't I get my money right now? I was in the same boat. I felt the same way after the back-to-back 1,000-yard years. It's like, this is the time to hit it. Because of the running back position and how easy it is to get hurt, I want to get paid now. Let's be aggressive. And it didn't work for me, but maybe it'll work for Nick Bonito.
Still waiting and going back and forth. Do they do that deal in the offseason or do they wait till it goes in the season? I'm very interested on the Broncos' approach. And then, according to reports here, Phil, 49ers linebacker Dre Greenlaw has interest from a team like Atlanta, a team like Houston, and apparently the Denver Broncos as well. Dre Greenlaw playing inside linebacker had missed nearly all of last season.
Yeah.
You remember him? Remember he popped his Achilles in the Super Bowl.
Doing warm-ups on the sideline, getting ready to run into the game.
Yeah, getting ready to run into the game.
Yeah,
One of the freakiest accidents that I have ever seen. I'm curious about this one because age-wise, he still should be in his prime. He's going into his age 28 season. He tried to come back at the end of this year and apparently had a serious Achilles tenderness, and it just didn't go great. Okay, but when this guy was healthy, he's a fantastic football player.
I remember playing against Greenlaw. Very aggressive, smart, moves side to side, and at that time before the injury, fast. The 49ers always had really good linebackers and good safeties, and we honestly got one of them in Hufanga today, and we'll talk about him. But Dre Greenlaw, man, he would be a great addition as long as he's willing to take the money that we're offering him. He didn't play a lot last year, so I'm not expecting him to want a bunch of money.
Right.
Because you have to be able to show before you get paid. Like, hey, I'm still healthy. I'm still available. I can go out there and play at a high level. And he wasn't able to do that last year. So maybe he's going to be able to. We're going to be able to get him for a little bit cheaper than we would, because inside linebackers are getting paid a lot of money right now.
They
It's the year for the inside linebacker.
The market is sort of correcting on that position as well, which in the last 7, 8, 9 years has been devalued, and now it's being valued once again, much like the running backs that we've talked a lot about. And then you mentioned them, and I'm gonna try to get this name right. Tano Hufanga. So the Broncos agreed to terms. Wait, hey, real quick before we move on to Hufanga.
Yeah.
On the Dre Greenlaw stuff, my guess is he's going to sign a 1-year contract. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, he's going to try to do it too. He'll try to get a 2-year done. They're going to try to front load the contract, but you always want to have that stability. So 2 years for a 27-year-old player, that's what you're looking for. Denver might want him for a year, but he's saying, hey, the Falcons want me for this, or whoever else wants him. So now he's in a bidding war. So I would say, Zach, more of the 2 years, I don't know, he might get $20 million, man. I'm just putting it out there, 20. It's the inside linebacker, and if the Denver Broncos really want him,
saying 2 for 20?
2 for 20.
Okay.
And if the Denver Broncos really want him, they're gonna probably have to reach. They're gonna have to reach a little bit more than they want to if they want someone like Dre Greenlaw. Or you can go my way. EJ Speed's out there.
Yeah.
Get to know the name, guys. I'm telling you guys, EJ Speed, a young inside linebacker that can play outside fast. He's athletic. He covers tight ends, running backs, slot receivers. He will be a great addition, and we will not have to break the bank to get him here.
All right, and then to the new safety here in Denver, Tano Hufanga. He has signed with the Broncos, 3-year contract worth up to $45 million, $20 million guaranteed. He's coming over from the San Francisco 49ers.
Huge upgrade, Zach. Huge upgrade.
Mike Kliss was the first to report this. Yes, it is going to be a huge upgrade. This young man is 25 years old. He is entering the 5th year in the NFL, spent the first 4 in San Francisco. His real breakout season was 2022. All right, now that's a few years ago, but
he blew his knee out.
He did.
The year after that.
He did, and he's also dealt with a wrist as well. But at one point in 2022, this dude was first-team All-Pro.
Yeah.
First-team All-Pro safety, 97 total tackles, 2 sacks, 4 picks. One of them was a pick 6, but you mentioned it. Since then, he has struggled staying healthy, tore his ACL in 2023, fought a wrist injury in 2024. This is sort of like, it feels like a bet. Feels like a bet on the Broncos, on Hufanga, that he can return to that 2022 form.
See, Zach, I don't think it's a bet. I think it's, you know what? Hufanga is a couple years removed from the injury. He's going to be playing his best football moving forward. Mark my words on this. Because of that injury, it takes time. When Hufanga blew his knee out, it was in the middle of the season. Well, last year, he came back in the middle of the season. That's not enough runway for you, especially playing a physical sport. This year, he's going to be ready to go. He's going to be more acclimated with his body. He's going to be ready to go out there and prove that he deserves the money that he just got. He's smart. He's physical. He can move into the box and play like a smaller linebacker, just like Brandon Jones did for us this year. And so you're not just keying on Brandon Jones and saying, hey, every time Brandon Jones is in the box, he's blitzing, or hey, he's the guy that you have to worry about tackling you. Hufanga could do this exact same thing. It's going to be a great dynamic duo between Brandon Jones and Hufanga, who can complement each other.
Totally. What does this mean for PJ Locke?
PJ's a depth piece now. Special teams, he could still play that role when he needs to. You need more than one guy. Tell that and explain that to the Denver Nuggets right now. You need help. You need depth. So PJ Locke, he's going to have to swallow his pride, lick his wounds. I know he's upset right now. But get in where you fit in, because they don't care.
That's right. They don't care.
They don't care.
They don't care.
And they showed it by paying Hufanga $20 million.
Yeah. All right.
$45 million, 20 guaranteed.
Yeah, 20 guaranteed. Really, really interesting. I think that mostly covers it from a Broncos perspective, from the activity so far today. First day of free agency, and we're living in it. It's still not done, and we'll pass along news of any sort of relevance to the Broncos as it comes in. Around the NFL, you mentioned this before, Chris Godwin re-signing with the Bucs, 3-year, $66 million. How about that new? Do you see that Josh Allen? Holy smokes! 6 years,
crazy.
$330 million with $250 million fully guaranteed. That's wild. Most guaranteed money for a contract in NFL history. So Buffalo is just, they're not messing around.
He has more guaranteed money than Lamar Jackson's whole entire contract combined.
Yep.
That's insane.
Yep. And Buffalo's just not playing around. They're building a new stadium.
Yep.
He's the spine of that organization. And if they're going to make an exception with, and they're doing it for cap purpose as well.
Sure.
They're playing around with that there. How about DK Metcalf? Signing 5 years, 150 M's with the Pittsburgh Steelers.
And Pitt gave up a second-round draft pick?
Yeah.
We could have had him here in Denver.
But then turn around and sign him for $150 million?
That's a star receiver for you. You want a star receiver in the building, you are going to have to pay star money. That's just how it goes.
Yes, but what would that have meant for Courtland Sutton?
Court's out. But we talked about this earlier where it's like, it's okay. DK Metcalf is an upgrade. If you're going to pay a receiver a lot of money, pay a star receiver, a true number one.
Sure.
I don't want to poop on Court. I think he's really, really good. But DK Metcalf is better than Courtland Sutton. So if you would have acquired DK, gave the second-round draft pickup, which I was okay with, you could have had a star receiver sitting right in front of you. I'm just saying.
How about the Browns and Myles Garrett going from divorce to renewing their vows?
I guess money talks in that relationship.
But my thing is, I think Myles Garrett would have got this on the open market as well. And I know I say open market. They would have had to trade him. But, the kind of the tough talking from Myles Garrett. Remember he put out the letter and it was never supposed to be from Cleveland to Canton. I want to play for a contender. Like, what if we give you, say, $160 million? He's like, screw it. Cleveland to Canton.
What do we need to do to make this go away?
Yeah.
Open up the checkbook.
Goodness gracious. Then you got Devontae Adams. 2 years, $46 million from the Rams.
Yeah, that was interesting.
Very, very.
Like you give up Cooper Kupp, let him walk, but then play Devontae Adams, who is as old as Cooper Kupp. It just, I don't know. They see something in Devontae right now that's like, hey, he's still playing at elite level.
Yeah. What about Sam Darnold going to Seattle? 3 years, $110 million.
Quarterback rehab.
Crazy.
Back with his offensive coordinator, Clint Kubiak.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Yes.
Yeah. So
good call.
It should be good things over there.
And Justin Fields to the Jets?
Come on now.
2 years for 40?
Justin Fields said, hey, look, don't bring me in if I'm not the starting quarterback.
He
QB1.
did say that. I was like, unbelievable.
Yeah, look at you.
Like, wow.
Well, he's paid.
He is. Good for him, man. Good for him. That's going to be 2 easy W's for the Bills.
Now, did I see
the
Russ?
East.
Is Russ anywhere?
No.
Poor Russ.
What's going on with Russ? Where does he belong?
Maybe at home if he can't get something done.
Maybe so. I mean, it's again one of these things. We're going to talk about it later with someone like Von Miller. It's like, where is the best spot for someone like
Bring him on.
You didn't. Oh, you did say that.
Bring him on.
We need to.
I'm coming home. I'm coming home.
Okay, no, Von's not coming home. He tried to come home. The door's locked.